Welcome to OWAD today. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Today's plant-based character is 直, and it cannot be more plant-based than the plant itself. So 直 can be both a noun and a verb. I will show you examples here. But 直 is, I have been puzzling over why we have two plants. One is a 种, one is 直. So 种, we talked about a few episodes ago. It's related to seed. You have because 种 has this noun form, which means 种子 means the seed of something. And then 种 as a verb would be you're catering to the seed so that it grow, right? Grow the seed, so to speak. And 种 is made of the 禾 side. The 禾 is you can view it as a rice plant in the Chinese context. So it's economic plant that's food source. Versus 直 is also planting, but it's not crop-based. It is tree-based. It doesn't have that tilted top to mean it's something that's edible. So I guess that's probably the main distinction of we have two types of plant. One is to plant the crops. One is to plant the trees. So this is the tree planting plant. Okay, so again, the tree canopy, root, canopy, trunk. So that's the left side is a category of what we're talking about. It's type of wood. The right side means straight, and Chinese express straight or 直 also means truth in this way. Okay, so three parts you can see, right? The top is a cross. So Chinese doesn't have any Christianity back then when the characters were created. So the cross symbolization doesn't mean the same thing as Christianity. It came from this roping technology that the vertical line is a rope and the horizontal line intersect is actually to indicate there is a knot on the rope. So tying a knot on the rope make the basic unit of 10, I guess, single digit, people can still express by their 10 fingers. But once it hit 10, to keep track of things, it will be easier to tie a knot in there. And because knot is kind of permanent, right? So once you untie it, you will see record. So that's kind of permanent record keeping back then between, I would say, loaners and borrowers back then, that you're going to rope it down as a form of bookkeeping. And because the starting unit is number 10, so definitely one knot, that shows 10. Eyeball in the middle. So it's a verticalized eyeball. Chinese used to depict eyeball in the shape of a physical representation, of realistic representation of the eyeball, like this, right? But then to save space, things got verticalized. So as if this pair of eyeball is doing that. So that's eyeball. 10 eyeballs looking at this corner. So we have the left corner of the frame means ground, and we have top left corner of the frame means upper ground. So this is in relative to human. So we have our eye level here, right? And then low ground would be below our eye level. High ground would be above our eye level. So this is below means ground. 10 eyeballs checking the ground. So basically, it's a Chinese way to prevent bias. Imagine it in the surgery room, right? To avoid shadowing. I don't know how many light bulbs in there, but multiple angles so that the shadowing effect was erased. So similarly, I think Chinese back then realized each of us only have 2 eyeballs. We can only see so much. Everybody have blind spots. To avoid blind spotting, we place 10 pairs of eyeballs, as if, avoid the shadowing in that surgery room so that multiple angles are focusing on the ground truth. That's how we seek truth. Multiple eyeballs. Very reasonable, right? And eventually this truth seeking became this concept, a little bit more abstract concept of straight. So I guess in English too, like we say something straightforward, almost like without any peppering with, flowering things, powder things up. We give you the straightforward thing, facts about things. So this 10 eyeballs looking at the ground eventually becomes straightforward, this straight concept. So when you plant a wood or tree, you're going to make sure it's standing up straight. So that's tree planting. And we have several expressions, 种植. So here we have 种 and 植 together. And that's what I'm puzzling with. I was puzzling, but I think I just solved it while recording it. So this is a crop planting. This is tree planting. Two types of plants that relate to humans in different ways. One is for food, one is for structure, for building, for shelter. So food and shelter, two basic needs, two types of crops. Two types of plants satisfy our needs. One is 种, one is 植. Okay, 移植 means you transfer or you transplant. So you transplant the tree to somewhere else. And 移 means spatially moving, horizontally mostly. 植入 means you're going to plant that plant 入 inside something. So this means embedding. You're kind of digging below the surface so that you can implant something. So if 移植 is transplant, 植入 would be implant. Okay, 植物 物 means things. So it's made of ox and a flag, so both living and non-living things. And it's just generic term of things. We didn't have any specs, but when you add 植, there's a plant tree action paired with things. It means living things. And 植物 eventually doesn't mean just trees. I guess the food source type of plant is also included. So 植物 is our generic term in Chinese currently. That means plant. So when we say plant-based, it's definitely that, 植物. All right, and I'm showing you succulent, which is a type of plant as well. Interesting when you're talking about this food, shelter, purpose plant, but what succulent does that do to us? We cannot eat it. Well, can we eat it? Probably. We cannot live with succulent. So I guess mostly this is something that's not essential to our existence, but it adds so much joy to it because it's just nice to see green stuff around. And that's I guess the third type of plant use. It's not for food, not for shelter, but for the look, the pleasant, the simple enjoyment of our eyeballs placed on it. All right, so that's true. Thank you for your time. See you another